A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 29th October 2020. Mark Twain once said, "There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist." When we are young, we are bursting with energy. We have time, we have energy. These are the things that are in our favor. So this is the time to think positive, to be optimistic, and then take the right action. So, if you're thinking or if your thoughts are filled up with negative things, then remember they're just your vampires, your demons that you have created, or by default, your mind is creating. But you always have this choice to choose the right thought, right? It's on us. It's totally, the key is in our hand to choose the right thought as well as right action. With this, dear friends, if you are preparing for Civil Services Examination, that we have complete online smart course for you. We'll cover all the subjects that you can see on your screen, and it has other smart features as well. To find out more about our smart course, download our mobile application. Download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook as well. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. You can share this lecture with other students, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. On our table, we have 5 important articles. These 2 articles are on one topic. It's about Jammu and Kashmir. So let's quickly start with 2 together. This one is about India and USA. So, as we all know that 2+2 meeting took place between India and USA, and apart from this annual review of ties, one of the most important agreement that both nations have signed is Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement for Geospatial Cooperation. Now, this is the third and the last agreement, and this will enable solid interoperability between Indian and American defense forces. Before this, Becca, we have signed LIMOA, and we have signed COMCASA as well. So this one is the third one, BECA, right? Number 1, 2, and 3. All 3 are important. I have one question for you. Give me the full form of LIMOA as well as COMCASA. And not just the full form. I want you guys to add a few lines about what LIMOA is all about and what COMCASA is all about, right? A few lines. You can use bullet points. But I want you guys to do a little bit of research on this thing and then stick your answer. One more thing that I would like to tell you is that, I see that those students who are following this series, they are not sharing this lecture. So it's my request as well to all of you that please make sure, if you love this series, if you are benefiting out of this series, then you have to share it, right? It's like a 50% contribution from your side. I'm not asking anything else from you. What I'm asking is to share this lecture, and don't just to share it on when I tell you, right? If you genuinely love this series, if you feel that you are part of this series, then do it on regular basis. I want more students. I want at least 10,000, 15,000 students in our country, from South India and from northeastern part of our country, who are not that good or comfortable with Hindi language. They can benefit from this analysis. And as you know, that this is not a translation, right? I'm not just translating things. There are so many additional points that you come across, isn't it, via this discussion. So this is a request. And also, it's very important. Now, if you consider yourself as a sincere student, right, then I want you guys, it doesn't matter if you have 5 students or if you have 10 students. I know always quality is going to be in less quantity. So I don't expect 100, 200 students to answer all the questions that I'm asking. But I know that at least 5, 10 students. And you will see this thing as well. Out of 10,000, 20,000 students preparing, you will see 10, 15 students clearing exam. Because these are the genuine, rock solid, sincere students. They are doing everything that they can, and they are also pushing themselves to do the things that are asked by teachers as well as educators. And So if you think that you are one of them, then I want you guys to take part in every single question that I ask you. If I'm telling you to do a little bit of research on Limao and Komkasa, then that should be done, right? It's a direct order coming from your educator, right? Because it is important for your overall understanding as well as for your examination. I know a few students, right? I know them by their name. I know them by their preparation because they are the ones who are regular in Hindi version. So I want to see some of you, right? I want to see how many of you are sincere, and then, yes, we can take this journey to a next level, isn't it? As far as your preparation is concerned. Right, so moving on, this meeting 2+2 was not just about Becca, it was also about these two wonderful countries working together or cooperating in field of health and COVID-19 cooperation, building strategic petroleum reserve in the US, renewable energy, space, cyberspace, counterterrorism, counter-narcotics. These are the areas in which both nations are going to work together. Now, it's very interesting that both nations have said this thing, that Pakistan should take immediate, sustained and irreversible action against cross-border terror groups on its soil and bring to justice the perpetrators of 2008 Mumbai attack, Uri attack and Pathankot attack. Now, one more interesting thing, and this is talk of the town at present, that Mike Pompeo has referred to the challenge from Beijing. He said that this Communist Party, Chinese Communist Party, CCP, is a big threat and the world should unite, particularly democratic as well as like-minded countries should unite to control this expansionist China under the rule of CCP. Mike Pompeo is also going to visit Maldives, Sri Lanka, and in fact, when I'm having a word with you right now, when I'm recording this lecture, he has already completed his visits to these three nations, and here as well, he has said so many things about China. Now, one more important point is that elections, presidential election in USA is not far from now. So before that, if foreign minister or secretary of state of USA is visiting India, then this indicates that bilateral relationship between India and USA, this relationship is foolproof. So it doesn't matter if Trump is re-elected or if Biden comes in, right? India is going to be, India-USA relationship are going to be important. Okay. One more thing, and that's everything as far as this article is concerned. You might have observed that India or External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said nothing about China. Yes, we talked about China, but we were not clear. We never used this word China like Mr. Pompeo. So this indicates that yes, we know that China is a threat. Yes, we know that China is a challenge. Yes, we know that we are with Quad and we are working with USA, or USA is our good friend, and then we want more democratic countries to be on the same page. Yes, all these things are okay and important, but as far as our strategic autonomy is concerned, we are not going to compromise with it, right? We don't consider ourselves as a sidekick of USA. We don't consider ourselves as a subordinate of USA. We see USA and India as equal partners, right? And we would like to keep it that way. So India believes that if we have a problem with Pakistan, if we have a problem with China, then we would like to sort it out bilaterally. And this is the reason why we have not used or referred openly. We have not used the word China. We have not said China. We have not referred this country's name. And this indicates our decision that we want to stay autonomous as far as, or when it comes to strategic autonomy, we cannot compromise it. Moving on to next item, real estate. Now, any Indian can buy land in Jammu and Kashmir. A few days ago, Government of India came out with a new law. This was a new law was passed by the government, and now from now, any Indian can purchase land in Jammu and Kashmir, which was not possible earlier on. Now, I'm not going to history of Jammu and Kashmir. You know it very well what happened last year. This Article 370 and 35A was revoked, and till now, outsiders were not able to purchase land, but with this new law, we can purchase land. So, is it a good news, bad news? Now, I'll talk about good things first, and then we'll analyze whether there are any bad things, right? So, quickly, good things. I gave this example this morning to students of Hindi version, and I would like to give it to you as well. When I say which place is more beautiful, Jammu and Kashmir or Switzerland, right? Then of course many people will say, means I have not visited Jammu and Kashmir, I have never been to Switzerland, but I know I have heard this thing, and I'm sure you will agree with me that many of us will say that Jammu and Kashmir is far more beautiful than Switzerland, right? We agree. I believe most of you are with me when I'm saying this thing. But when I ask you, when I offer you, whether would you like to go to Jammu and Kashmir for 15 days or Switzerland, then I think most of us will say that yes, we would like to go to Switzerland. The main reason is that you find good infrastructure in Switzerland. Even if you are living on a hilltop in Switzerland, in a remote village, you will find internet connectivity, telecommunication connectivity, you will get 24/7 electricity. You have ropeway over there, and these are material things, but most important thing is peace and security. Right? Peace and security. Now, when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, we know that not all parts of Jammu and Kashmir are, under disturbance all the time, but there are few pockets, yes, and you never know. You never know, because the way things used to take place earlier on, I think many of us are not ready yet. Even if you can observe this thing with films as well. So many films, film directors, they visit Switzerland rather than Jammu and Kashmir because of safety and other infrastructure facility. So if you want to attract more tourists here, and we know this thing that tourism is a sector that can create good quality formal jobs, and that will create more prosperity, more money in the hand of people, then more things that they can buy. It's not about material thing. They can have, they can send their, once you have money, then you will find good schools coming to you, good hospitals coming to your area. You'll find all good things, best quality products, services coming to your area if your region, if people living in your region, if they have good purchasing power. So for that, you need investment, and for that, you need proper rules and regulations. So I believe this new law has this potential to attract more investment in Jammu and Kashmir. Something similar will take place for Ladakh as well. Now, Government of India has promised the people of Ladakh that their demography, their ethnicity, their land, jobs, language will be protected. And one thing that, yes, I do understand that we need to protect our traditional languages and traditional way of life and culture and everything. When it comes to Ladakh or in Jammu and Kashmir, and it doesn't matter, any place on this planet, if there is a traditional language, then we need to protect it. It's not just about that country or that region, it's about humanity. It's about the different colors that we can add to our canvas. But I don't understand this thing that why few political parties are always negative when it comes to a change. They are always trying to maintain this status quo. If you say that we are going to do this, or if the nation decides that we will develop this and that in Jammu and Kashmir, then there are political parties that are always negative about it. They will say that outsiders. Now, we are not outsiders. We are citizens of one country. So far, what these political parties have done, they have always created this imaginary wall between people of Jammu and Kashmir and people of the rest of our country. rest the other parts of our country. And I think it's not just Jammu and Kashmir. We see something similar in Maharashtra. We see something similar in Tamil Nadu. And I'm not blaming the people of these states. I'm blaming the political parties. And I don't understand why people support this sort of political parties who are more into dividing people rather than uniting people. And I don't think so there is any one political party in our country that I can say that this party has never done this. I think every one of us, every political party, we know that they have tried to divide us, right, at some point of time. If not all the time, at some point of time for sure. So people of our country and people of Jammu and Kashmir, they have to think about themselves, what is good for them and what is bad for them. Then we have this article from Indian Express, and this article is suggesting that at present 23 petitions have been filed in Supreme Court regarding this revocation of Article 35A and 370. So this article is suggesting that government should have maintained some sort of patience, or government should have wait for this court to pronounce a verdict on these petitions. Now we cannot. If government is confident about it, if government is confident that technically government is right, constitutionally government is right, then I don't think so government should wait for it. Then what will happen is that with every decision that you take, someone will file a petition, and then you wait for a few years, and then you decide, then opportunity is gone. So I am with government here. I think government is right when it is taking this decision rather than waiting for the Supreme Court, because I think this displays confidence of government in its decision. In a place where people have come to view the government's every action as an assault on their ethnic, political and religious identity, land rights take on huge significance. Land right is a very important thing, and what government should do is government should prove this thing that if political parties are saying that government is bad and government is trying to take away everything from you, then this is the right time. This is an opportunity for the government to prove that government is for the people of India, for the people of Jammu, of this Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir. So this is a very good opportunity for the government, that when they will see that this will genuinely add value to their life, add quality, and it will raise their living standard, then people will support the decisions taken by government. Then we have countering deepfakes. Very interesting article. Now, dear friends, on your screen you can see deepfakes. I'll give you one example. So this is original Vladimir Putin, and then you can create deepfakes. So deepfakes is like using your editing softwares and your computer and whatever the latest technologies are available out there. You can edit videos, audios and images, and you can also manipulate them using artificial intelligence. So just imagine the damage that you can create, or one can create, using this deep fakes. And we are living in a world where this sort of technologies are democratized, right? Every one of us, right? Just if you spend 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, then you can buy a good solid computer and you can do so many things. You can edit videos and mix and match, and it very well. Even nowadays, there are so many phones as well. You can use them for editing. There are so many apps on the phones and things like that. So deep fakes are new tool to spread computational propaganda and disinformation at scale and with speed. Now just imagine, these days, and it's very sad that there are people who use photos of famous female celebrities, and what they do is they create this deep fakes and they create pornographic videos and photos. Just imagine, right? Just imagine if a person, or if a kid, a teenager, will come across a pornographic material or pornographic thing that is created of his mother or her mother. Just imagine, right? So the people who are doing this thing, they don't know their impact. They're doing it for making money or attracting crowd on their channels or their websites, and that's how they earn revenue. The more crowd you have, the more money you will make. But for that, they are doing anything. And this pornographic deepfakes can threaten, intimidate, and inflict a psychological harm and reduce women to sexual objects. Just imagine a deepfake of a religious leader saying very bad things about a particular community. This can trigger riots in our society. A politician's deep fakes about another country can create a diplomatic row between two countries. So I'm not sure whether we can stop this deep fakes. There are people now, as I told you, this is more democratic. Every one of us, right? Most of us, we have this sort of tools that we can play around. We can create this deep fakes. So what is the best way? The best way is to create media literacy in consumers, right? We should be able to identify what is wrong and what is right. What is a propaganda? I think many of us are not aware about it. Many of us are not, trained enough. Our eyes are not trained. Our ears are not trained to distinguish between what is propaganda, what is a proper researched news item. So this literacy, right, media literacy is the key, and this is something that will last, and this will create a culture, right? The more media literate we are, the better it is for our society. And it's going to be more challenging for this deep fakes and this tabloid type or propaganda type news channels to cater, because the more media illiterate you are, the easier their job is. The more media literate a society is, it becomes nearly impossible for this sort of platforms to survive. And this is called infodemic. Just like pandemic, epidemic, this is infodemic, right? We are living in an era of infodemic. So media literacy is the key. This is the solution. Keep this thing in mind. Very important concept that I have just discussed with you guys. Now, the last topic of the day, it's about Indo-Pacific and Quad. Now, I'm going to be very brief here. The reason is that this is not the first time I'm talking about Quad and Indo-Pacific, and I'm sure if I start from the scratch, then this will bore you guys, isn't it? Because we have talked about this thing many times. Now, in mid-2000, the world used to believe that India is going to be next economic powerhouse, but now they want us. Now they are not that much confident about us, but they want us to play a very important role against China. You know the difference between Quad and Indo-Pacific. Indo-Pacific is a politico-economic vision. Quad is more a military strategic vision. Quad is more focused on controlling China. And Indo-Pacific, of course, China is also part of Indo-Pacific because it is a littoral state. So these are basic differences between Indo-Pacific and Quad. Now, one thing that is the most important thing in this article is that, if we want to counter China, then we have to understand that just a military relationship or strategic relationship is not enough. Economical relationship is, in today's world, one of the most important things. Of course, people-to-people contact is the most important, but after that, I believe this cultural ties and economical relationship are the most important. Once you have that, then you can develop your defense relationship and technological relationship and things like that. So we have to keep this thing in mind that China is there in various different parts of Indo-Pacific region, right? China, via its Belt and Road Initiative, has built good relationship with so many nations. India is not part of RCEP. RCEP is one of the most important or region's flagship free trade agreement. We are not part of it because of our own reasons, and I think that was a good decision of Government of India to not be part of RCEP. But we are not part of it. And China is a country that if you leave USA, then I think, if I'm not wrong, it has free trade agreement relationship with most nations in this region. As far as India is concerned, we don't have FTA with Australia, New Zealand, USA, Bangladesh, Maldives, etc. We have FTA with South Korea, ASEAN, Japan, and Sri Lanka. And we are having a discussion with other countries. Now, China, they have a good relation. They have FTAs with so many nations here. So as far as this weight of China is concerned, it is heavy. It is with deep pockets. So it's not going to be that easy for us to reduce the influence or increase our influence. Rather than reducing their influence, it's more about increasing our influence. For that, we have to have robust engagement, economic engagement with the nations or most important nations of Indo-Pacific region. Right? So this is the key. This is the crux of this article. And then you have some news items on your screen. Right? I want you guys to go through these headlines and go through the Hindu newspaper. You will find all these news items. Go through it. It will not take more than 10-15 minutes, but this is something that you have to do on regular basis. And that's everything from my side. I will see you soon with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.